Welcome to The Call Up, a movie about 8 gamers that wish they had studied the great Sir Grizz before embarking on a journey to beta test a game that could have been developed by Mr. Kayaba. The good old days of Call of Duty 4, 360s, and beating salty kids as a salty kid myself. Spoilers ahead, you only die once in this game. By the way, clicking the like button and leaving a comment is a great way to support this channel. It may just be a click for you, but every little thing adds up. Thank you very much, and I hope you love the show today. In the near future, a complete stranger receives a random text message inviting him to a dubious office building that you can't find on Google. So far, so good. As our character enters the building, makes it to the 25th floor, he gets to meet 7 other people that have received the same message. Now, despite the nature of that anonymous invitation, none of them think it might not be a good idea to be here, which pretty much breaks every rule we teach our children. Now, once all of them have come together, a terrible e-voice that is definitely not generated by Joey from Speechala says this.
Welcome to beta testing. Please sign in on the tablets provided.
Now, there are many things here that go terribly wrong. So our characters need to register themselves and stand by for further announcements. At this point, none of them have any idea what is actually going on. And that's why I would draw the first line here. Signing up? For what exactly? If I don't know what I give my personal information for, I am not providing anything. There is no quicker way to ruin your life than by signing stuff you don't read. They then need to wear a full-body neoprene-like overall and state their gamertag one by one. They're all gamers, right? Since we're going to play a game, I think it is important to take note of each character's character. Obviously, there are people you want to stay away from and people you want to team up with. Atlas, this guy, is a very toxic guy. It's not a good idea to stick with this guy, or these kind of people, right? I wouldn't even be comfortable with him being anywhere behind me either. Other people though, like Andre or Adam, are exceptionally well suited to team up with, because Andre is a veteran and Adam just looks like your typical I only leave the house to buy groceries type of guy, meaning he is your best friend in here. So basically, don't create unnecessary enemies, stay away from douchebags, and stick with those you know have helpful skills. Now, as all of them start wearing those menacing haptic feedback vests that give me nightmares, and helmets that fasten themselves, I might add, very bad sign, Zahid wants to leave as he senses what is about to happen. However, surprise surprise, the doors are shut. Now, we saw that coming, obviously. Now, at this point though, you can either sit down and don't move as if you were a participating teenager at a critical mass protest, or give in to the pressure of your fellow players to finally wear the damn thing so that we can finally play. Now, the only reason why I'm emphasizing on this moment so much is because once you wear that thing, there is no turning back. Realistically speaking, this is the last moment where you can make a lasting decision. Do you want to give in to the peer pressure, or do you do your own thing and maybe save your own life? It's worth thinking about, in my opinion. Now, as our characters are finally ready and wear their gear, they are transported into a simulated reality projected onto the building where they are located in. An NPC walks in and gives our players a rundown of the rules and goals of the game. Basically, they have to fight Russian terrorists. Of course, it's the Russians, again. They have to fight them on each floor until they reach the basement. There are 25 floors, or levels, with increasing difficulty. Whoever leads the leaderboard at the end of the game wins $100,000. But what happens if you are shot? Because I know that's why you clicked on this video. Yep. Well, whoever is shot will experience real haptic feedback that, as we can see, actually seems to hurt. After being shot, your protective vest will also disappear, meaning if you then get shot again, well, we'll see that in a bit. According to the instructor NPC, there are also 8 medikits available for when you need them. Okay, whatever that means, but considering the realities of this game, we can safely say avoid getting hit once the vest is gone, right? So, as the game starts, and they slowly move forward with the veteran at the front, I might add, they are surprised by the first enemy who shoots a full AK-47 mag at them. No one is harmed, and Andre gets the first kill. Floor 25 is cleared. Hell yeah. Now, let's get a bit more tactic, okay? As soon as they reach floor 24, they receive semi-automatic firearms. Atlas, the toxic dude, storms forward and is almost killed. Now, this is probably the stupidest thing you can do. You should never run into the open field. You should also not celebrate after each kill. Both are sure ways to die. You see, the best ways, always, are finding elevated spots, or, if that's not available, taking routes along the walls while ducking behind objects. This ensures that you don't get surprised from behind while keeping yourself sheltered from whatever lies ahead. It's really just logic. As far as I can remember from my glorious days of skipping school to bust mags at zombies, screaming children and campers, knowing the map is pretty much everything. The better you know the map, the more likely you are to beat the game. Now, some of the characters spread out and go solo, while others have more problems going about it. You see, the so-called newbies struggle to play, which is odd, because we were told they are all gamers. I mean, for what it's worth, okay, they might be competitive Animal Planet players, but then why would you participate in an ego shooter? Doesn't make much sense. Anyway, Carl gets his first kill, but celebrates too early as well. And so lo and behold, Carl is shot twice, and as we can see, the haptic feedback is intense. Now, if you've stayed low-key until this point, this is the situation you wanted to happen, because now you know what's up. I mean, it was quite obvious from the start if you ask me, but anyway, our characters just discovered the truth behind this death game. At this point, everything goes really quick. The group degenerates because fear becomes the deciding factor in making decisions, and therefore rationality cannot be maintained. It's really nothing special and more a generic symptom of facing death, right? But of course, this is the worst outcome possible. The floors are easiest beaten if everyone sticks together and then just shared the 100k at the end. But humans are greedy, selfish, and unreasonable, so I think it's time to go solo. So as Andre splits away from the group because his feelings were hurt, which is odd because so far he was the most helpful member of them all, is surprised by an NPC and killed. This triggers a lethal shock transmitted by the helmet. Not that that wasn't obvious. And there you go, the MVP is gone, which sucks. But the problem that automatically arises is what happens if you try to remove the helmet with force. Now, I wouldn't want to try, right? If you want to do that, that's completely fine. I'm standing back and watch you, but I'm not gonna touch that thing. It inevitably becomes clear that to survive this game, you must finish it whether you like it or not, which sucks, right? At this point, the only good thing to do is to team up with everyone and organize yourselves. The chances to survive are much bigger the more people we are, so let us have a look on how our characters perform. After attempting to crack open the helmet of Zahid by smashing him with a loaded fire extinguisher, the instructor NPC rushes in and starts beating up Zahid. Now we could try shooting down this NPC, right? But that might not be a good idea. As you guys know, game masters have pretty much godlike powers in-game, so agitating them in any shape or form is probably a bad idea. So unless we find the glitch, we are bound to proceed. Does any one of you remember that glitch in GTA 4 where you could enter buildings and shoot cops without being hit? Doesn't matter. When our characters proceed, Zahid just walks straight through one of the objects, knowing it is only a projection. Now this is actually very interesting, because the bullets can penetrate these objects, but if you can walk through them, you can also hide inside of them. So technically, you could hide yourself inside of them and be safe for as long as you remain in there. So if you ran out of ammo, or you get shot and lose your vest and you don't have a medikit left, hiding yourself like that is a solid chance until the others have cleared the room. And if we're lucky, we could even shoot out of it while not be shot at all. It's definitely worth a try. If that works, it's an easy way to break the game and win the battle without any further casualties. However, on floor 17, they try one more time to get out of the map by smashing one of the windows. Speedrunners know what's happening here. Getting out of the map is the fastest way to beat a game, but not when you have a sergeant storming in every time you try. Yep, that's right. Zahid is beaten so much again, he falls down a staircase and breaks his leg. Zahid is out, and 6 players are left. A great way to beat this game, since we are in the middle of New York with thousands of people passing by, to flicker the lights and call for help. In such a big city with so many people constantly connected to social media, dozens of videos would surface in no time showing our call for help. This would be one of the best solutions to go about beating this game. Certainly worth a try. Anyway, our characters must clear the next floor with close combat only. No guns allowed. Now Taylor, the girl who's been whining and had no line in this movie so far, is creeped out and does the best possible thing. Run away and hide herself in a toilet. While the others are busy fighting, one enemy creeps into the toilet and slowly approaches Taylor's cabin. But once he opens the door, she rushes out and stabs him, getting her first point and giving her enough confidence to turn into one of the best players in this game. Now, with her help, they make it to the 11th floor and start thinking for the first time about how this game came to be. It's just so the case that none of them have family members, making them the perfect victims for a death game like this. That's it. Yep, I know it's a disappointment, but you know what isn't? The next floor. That's right, on the next floor they must torture an enemy to receive a password to continue the game. Can you imagine a VR game like that? What the hell? Now Edward volunteers and does the job until they get what they want. Reaper 2000 enters the password and the clock starts ticking down. They have 30 minutes left to deactivate a bomb and save themselves. All of them then enter a semi-broken elevator and skip multiple floors. For some reason, some of them can leave on floor 5, while Atlas and Reaper are able to reach floor number 3. Now of course Atlas, being the bully that he is, forces Reaper into exploring the floor himself, while he stays back like a little... Now this ends exactly how you think it would. The floor can be cleared, but not before Reaper is killed. And just in time, the others join this floor too and get ready to clear floor number 2. Now, everything goes quick here. Our characters receive new medipacks, but for some reason they don't pack them in until somewhere further along this floor. They then decide to send Taylor back to grab them. Why? Why wouldn't you take them at the start of this level? That just doesn't make any sense. It's just mind-boggling to see these characters acting so weird. It's almost frustrating. Anyway, Taylor goes back to pick it up, but unfortunately faces off Atlas, who, of course, doesn't want to let her get the medipacks. He kills her and grabs the kit himself. But when Carl arrives, he is shocked by what he sees. He also comes across Atlas' name written in blood by Taylor before she passed away. A fight breaks out, and Carl uses the fire extinguisher, once again, to beat down on Atlas. Now this, for some rather funny reason, triggers a new visit by the NPC, who screams at Atlas, accusing him of trying to remove his headgear. Which is just odd and rather a comfortable way of getting rid of a character that has no place in the rest of the plot, right? Anyway, only 3 people are left, and of course, it's Carl, Edward, and Shelley. The final showdown happens inside an underground parking lot. Now the mistakes these characters make though, makes me uncomfortable. So here's what happens. By now they have gained some experience and take out most of their enemies fairly quickly. They take shelter, shoot when there is an opening, and do a pretty good job. But once they seemingly have killed all enemies, they walk into the open field, standing right next to each other, inviting anyone of the opposing team to get a multi-kill. Why would you do that? Why would you so carelessly and so close to the actual end of the game blunder so hard when you've literally beaten 24 floors, with each telling you when you've cleared it? No voice so far has mentioned that you've won the game, meaning clearly there are still enemies left. Yet they still decide to walk into the open as if there was a good reason. That's completely idiotic, no? And as you can imagine, Carl gets hit and is about to die. Now, if you think that that was the climax, then you're wrong, because Shelley doubles down on that questionable move with the following. As she's perfectly fine behind her pillar, she looks at the wounded Carl, who by the way also seems to be sheltered by a few sandbags, and sees him slowly pulling out his medipack to heal himself. Yet the best idea she has is to leave her hideout and walk into the bullets fired by the enemy. Of course, the only medipack left is with Carl, and heroically he uses the kit on her instead of himself. Anyway, Shelley survives. Edward can take out the last enemy with a handy rocket launcher, and it is revealed that Edward is the guy who organized this event. I'm not sure why you would involve yourself like that when you clearly don't have to, but whatever. Well, they continue with injecting an anesthetic into Shelley, but apparently not enough, because she wakes up before she was supposed to, and she uses her newly learned skills from the past 2 hours to take out the guards. Yeah. She then even confronts Edward, who is almost weeping, and decides to shoot him too. However, and here's the grande finale, the $100,000 she leaves behind. I guess because of moral reasons. After she obviously just killed 3 people and her friend because she just made a dumb mistake. Yeah, and that was it. I hope it was an enjoyable How to Beat or recap. Well, let me know what you think, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. I see you guys very soon with a very, very special new episode of How to Beat. It's gonna be great. Stay tuned. Love you. Take care of yourselves, and peace out.